I am MS Mazhar from Nova CSS Academy Islamabad, and in this video I will give you the cruces and summaries of important columns and editorials published in the Express Tribune as well as Dawn of 30 May 2024. After I have shared with you the main points of important columns and editorials published in these two newspapers, I will also share with you the headings and sometimes the main points of different important news items published in either of these two newspapers. So first of all, I start with the main points of important columns and editorials published in the Dawn. The first column, whose crux I'm going to share with you now, is the Great CPEC Mirage. This column has been contributed by Khurram Hussain. In this column, the writer tells us that the hype created by Pakistani government about the CPEC or its revival is no more than a media stunt. The writer believes that this flagship project from Pakistan's point of view is just a pipe dream or a mirage. The writer posits his arguments on three major observations, which are: number one, there is almost complete silence from China's official media about the CPEC. The second important point is, from Chinese point of view, CPEC is just a small section of corridor between Gwadar and Xinjiang. And thirdly, China is not going to make any further investments or give loans to Pakistan. That's why this writer believes that this concept of the revival of CPEC is just a mirage, and the writer offers that if somebody still believes in this pipe dream, then the writer is ready to sell him a plan to install in this project. Good offer. And now I share with you the crux of another important column published in the Dawn. The title of this column is "The Heat is On." This column has been contributed by F.S. Ejazuddin. In this column, the writer has given us precise statistics about Pakistan's energy needs, particularly electricity needs, its installed capacity, and the actual number of megawatts being produced in Pakistan. The writer has expounded different energy policies undertaken by Pakistani governments from time to time, and tells us what was lacking in them, because of which the Pakistani people are bound to suffer load sheddings and shortage of electricity. I have selected only one important editorial from the Dawn of 30 May 2024 for this video. The title of this editorial is "Debt Trap." In this editorial, the newspaper gives us very specific statistics to tell us how badly Pakistan is entangled in a debt trap. The solution to get out of this debt trap, as suggested by this newspaper, is to increase our tax to GDP ratio and reduce our expenditures. I have picked up two important news items published in the Dawn of 30 May 2024. The first news item is "Academic workers on strike in support of Palestinians." Strikers demand amnesty for graduate students and staffers facing disciplinary action in previous protests. This news item tells us about the academic workers in different American universities, particularly Columbia University, who have now gone on strike in favor of Palestinians, and particularly those students and academic workers who were previously protesting against Israel's genocidal actions in Gaza. The second news item that I have picked up from this newspaper to be included in this video is PM invited to attend summit on Ukraine in Switzerland. There is going to be held a global summit on Russia-Ukraine war in Switzerland. The date of this summit would be 15th of June onwards. However, the Prime Minister of Pakistan is highly unlikely to attend the summit because of his own busy schedule at home and his visit to China between 4th and 8th of June. Afterwards, the PM has to attend the session of National Assembly for budget, and then he has to participate in the post-budget speeches in the National Assembly of Pakistan. My dear students, now I share with you the cruces of important columns and editorials published in the Express Tribune of 30 May 2024. The title of the first important column that I am including in this video is Need for a Digital Authority to Combat Social Media Abuse. This column has been produced by Durdana Najam. In this column, the writer has first of all told us about the unchecked freedom of social media, because of which it threatens the rights of individuals as well as society and the state. After expounding how the unchecked freedom of the use of social media is a threat, the writer has also justified the creation of some such authority like Digital Rights Protection Authority for the sake of protection of privacy and cyber crimes on social media. So if you want to write an essay on social media ethics and want to add remedial measures against the unchecked use of the independence of media, this article is going to give you a great deal of knowledge and help. Another important column published in the Express Tribune is Why Can't a Nuclear State Erect an Industrial Base? This column has been penned down by Ishtiaq Ali Mehkri. In this column, the writer tells us that if Pakistan was able to manufacture its own nuclear weapon to compete with India in the arena of nuclear weapons, then why can't Pakistan create a very strong industrial base? The writer also tells us that the nuclear powers in today's world are usually getting more than 50% of their GDP from industrial sector, whereas in Pakistan's case, our industrial sector is contributing only 17% of the GDP. The writer also tells us that Pakistan has all the natural resources and every other thing to make it a very successful industrial state. But what Pakistan lacks is the vision and will at governmental as well as national level. Dear students, today I will include only one important editorial from the Express Tribune of 30 May 2024 in this video. The title of this editorial is Gender Inequality. As it is very much clear from this title that in this editorial, the newspaper gives us some very important statistics about the prevalent gender inequality in Pakistan. I will not be giving you all the main points of this editorial because a full-length reading of this editorial is a must for everyone. Dear students, there are two important news items published in the Express Tribune of 30 May 2024, which I have selected for inclusion into this video. The heading of the first news item is Russia Considers Taliban Recognition. So I think the title itself is self-explanatory that Russia is going to recognize the Taliban's government in the near future, and then Russia will be extending full-fledged relationships with the Taliban de facto government in Afghanistan. The heading of the second important news item published in the Express Tribune of 30 May 2024 is Rich Nations Meet $100 billion US Climate Finance Goal. Let me tell you what this news item is about. It was actually in 2009 that the developed nations pledged to contribute $100 billion US by 2020 and onwards to help the poor nations fight their losses because of climatic change. However, the first time these nations were able to fulfill this promise was in 2022. And now this news item again tells us that once again the rich nations have been able to gather the pledged money. My dear students, in this video I have shared with you the main points and cruces of important columns and editorials published in the Express Tribune as well as Dawn of 30 May 2024. And I have also added the important news items published in these two newspapers. With this, I hope that this video will help you a great deal to select the most important material for your understanding of the global affairs and important news items. I wind up this video with this and hope to see you tomorrow with the next episode of this program, in which I am sharing the main points and cruces of columns and editorials picked up from Express Tribune as well as Dawn, along with some important news items. Till tomorrow, Allah Hafiz.